What is up, you guys? Namicon here, bringing you my perspective as to what entertainment is bringing us, and welcome to another discussion video. And this discussion video, I'll be talking about the current state and the future of the Jurassic World franchise. And I will not be doing this alone. I'll be doing this with a few of my folks here. And the first person I'll be introducing is Carbs. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good, Nomicon. Thanks for having me back. It's been a while, but can't wait to talk about the Jurassic franchise.
And the second person is Brandon. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty well. It's been a hot minute since I was last on here, but yeah, I'm here. I'm ready to talk, and I'm excited.
Yep. The third person was supposed to be Revan Evan, but he's busy doing some personal stuff, so we don't know if he'll show up during this time or not. But with that out of the way, let's go talk about the first Jurassic World movie. So so So, for those that don't know, Jurassic World was supposed to be titled Jurassic Park 4, but the movie was in development hell for a while. So, so this was supposed to come out like literally years, like a couple years after Jurassic Park 3, but while Jurassic Park 3 was pretty successful, it did well at the box office. Nobody at the time nobody liked it. Like it was hated by everyone at that time. So it was stuck in development hell for a long time, and then now we finally got to see it. And I gotta say, it's the best one of the three, if you ask me. I say it's still a pretty fun movie. It's still a pretty good time. If I were to compare it, if I were to rank it in the Jurassic movie echelon, I would put it in the top three. I'll put it in number three, behind The Lost World and the first one, obviously, because no no Jurassic no Jurassic Park movie has topped the first one. Like, let's all agree on that. So, but I do, and with this movie introduced a an original dinosaur, which is the Indominus Rex. And the Indominus Rex has shown in quite a bit in this film. We've seen quite a bit of how threatening this this creation is, and it's well, it lambasted on everyone, every single weapon, every single human. It was literally unstoppable. It was literally unstoppable. But it but it's not Godzilla. Let's just say that. Like it is penetrable. The if you saw the battle with the Indominus, if you remember the battle between the T Rex, Rexy, and the Indominus Rex, the Rexy took a lot of damage to the Indominus, along with Blue, the Velociraptor. They had Rexy and Blue had to team up to take the Indominus Rex down. So and the fight was. I remember seeing that fight in theaters. It was, oh god, it was so cool to see it in theaters. So not Jurassic World 1, not a perfect movie, but it was a damn good time. I really like this movie. All right, well, I'll give this to Carbs.
Jurassic World, the first movie, taking it back to 2015, if I'm not wrong. 2015, right?
Yep.
Someone.
Yep.
All right. Cool. Thank you. But yeah, I honestly, after seeing the first trailer for this movie, I was like, whoa, they're finally implementing an aquatic dinosaur. Because that was honestly like my like, and like when I first saw the trailer, it was like, whoa, that's awesome. But honestly, for being in 2015, the movie still holds up pretty well. Like the CGI is phenomenal. I love the fact that it's not like trying to be a continuation of like the first three movies, like it is, but it's more like almost rebooting like the story itself. We already know what happened on Isla Nublar, but it's like we're just gonna continue it, move forward with it, and just the story, like develop the story more than at least Jurassic Park 3 did. But I liked it. Jurassic World, it introduced a whole new cast of characters. Chris Pratt was that honestly is I think his like peak of starring in Hollywood films now. Like that was when he was starting to grow back into being like the top actor. Bryce Dallas Howard, nice seeing her again. Last time I saw her, and honestly anything memorable, at least for me, was in Spider-Man 3 as Gwen Stacy. And those that one actor from that was in the film, what's his face? Give me a second. It was one of the kids. It was like the older brother. I forgot what the actor's name was, but yeah, he was honestly he also was like starring in different films as well. Pretty cool seeing him. But yeah, I like that. They also brought back the scientists from the original Jurassic Park. Uh, what's his face? What's the scientist's name? I'm sorry. I'm getting kind of
Henry Wu.
Henry Wu. Yes, it's so cool how they brought back him from like being just like a small role in the first original movie back to being like the main scientist for the whole entire park in Jurassic World. And it's also cool to see that how the technology has advanced in that universe is just as well as ours, that they can now create hybrid dinosaurs, which comes into play in a bad way, hence the Indominus Rex. How in how in Jeff Goldblum's words in the first movie, how people thinking you could, not thinking of whether you should, But yeah, the premise is honestly not too complicated. A dinosaur escapes its paddock and is now causing chaos around the park. It's simple yet effective because it's like building more story to it. And also the Indominus Rex, like the design, I love it because it's like a blend of Raptor and T Rex. Like as a kid, I was like, wow, that's so cool seeing an albino dinosaur. And also like the other traits where it can like camouflage, change its temperature, and it's like really smart. And honestly, I did feel connected to the new characters like um, Owen, the kids, even like the even Dr. Masrani, like the owner of Jurassic World. Like honestly, I kind of felt sad when he died because he seemed like a really chilled guy, but I'm like, dang, I didn't expect him to die. Honestly, one of my favorite deaths in this movie was when the British lady that would take care of the kids got dragged on by the pterodactyls and into the Mosasaurus like cage, and then just got eaten. I'm like, damn, that's probably one of the coolest deaths I've seen in like the whole Jurassic franchise. But yeah, I also love the final battle. That was awesome. Seeing how it was the Indominus versus the Rex and the Velociraptor, and how in the end the one that ended it was the freaking Mosasaurus. That was fire. But honestly, the first movie was probably the best out of the new like three. And like you said, Namicon, that yeah, it's a top three for me. But honestly, I would have to rank it. I think I have a better time with this one than I did with The Lost World. I'm not gonna lie, but that's just my opinion. Honestly, I think I'd rank it two out of the top in the top three.
Yeah,
But
that's fair. That's fair.
yeah, but
Yeah,
liked it, loved it. I would give it a 8 out of 10.
yeah. Yeah. About what you said about the older kid. I didn't know Nick Robinson before Jurassic World. I knew of the little guy, Ty Simpkins. He was in Iron Man 3.
Yeah, yeah. Now I remember. Oh, how did I not know that? Great. Oh, actually, you know what? Crazy enough, I've never actually seen Iron Man 3. That's like the
Oh, that
I've
makes
never seen it.
sense. That makes sense. That
Yeah.
makes sense. Okay. All right, Brandon.
My thoughts on this film were that it's probably probably the best one out of the entire trilogy. I'm glad it was released exactly 22 years after Jurassic Park. That's like a big not only big reference to Jurassic Park. It was like it was a good first step. Like tried a good first step. Overall, I did like the plotline of the movie. How they introduced the hybrids, which would become a very big part of the entire Jurassic World trilogy itself. The relationship between Owen and the park's velociraptors, mainly Blue. And I like how they managed to tie together the fact that while it is sometime after it, it's still connected with. So this was like a starting point of connection between the original trilogy and this trilogy. I really liked how they laid down some groundwork on it, which we did move on with and build on in the remaining movies as well. Um, Probably my favorite moment would probably be the gyrosphere attraction after the Indominus Rex killed what's it called? The Apatosauruses, I think they were called, right?
Yeah.
Um, okay. Yeah. So that's the part where it's like, okay, yeah, stuff is going down. We need to get out of here. It's like, because at that point, it's like we know the stuff is going on, but this is the point where it's like, okay, stuff is really going on. If it's going to get, it's almost at people. We got to get. Everyone has to like get out of here. Like that's the feeling you start to get, and then like everyone starts like getting the leap when they learn about all this, and it's like it's really bringing in the factors like this is like Jurassic Park or slash Jurassic World. This is something that could happen, and we need to get the heck out of here if we don't want to be left for the dead. And honestly, even though it doesn't have all the physical props that the original trilogy had, I think it did a pretty good justice considering time as like a good like sequel to the like trilogy for a start.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah. I think we're all in agreement that this is the best one in the trilogy. Because I think we're all in agreement that this is the best one in the trilogy. That I'm glad for that. And with that out of the way, let's go to the Fallen Kingdom. So I didn't see this in theaters. The first time I saw this, I was on an airplane. Uh, yeah, so I saw this movie when I was going into the U.S. coming back from El Salvador. So I was I think it was at night. I remember. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, that was years ago. So so when I first saw this movie, I absolutely hated it with every fiber of my being. I hated every single thing about it. I claim this movie as the worst film in the Jurassic Park franchise, and I saw it again I saw it again a few years later. I was and I was pretty harsh on it. It Fallen Kingdom is fine. It's a fine movie. It's don't get me wrong. Fallen Kingdom is very stupid. It is absolutely very fucking stupid. But I that doesn't mean I was bored. It was I had a fun time with it. It's a very fine movie with a lot of questionable decisions. The CGI is still amazing. The the score is actually very good as well. I think it kind of reminds me of the Lost World in a way. I think that's what Fallen Kingdom was trying to get, but I think it works. So so Fallen Kingdom it I don't hate it as much as I used to, but it's still very dumb. But I had a lot of fun with it. It's still a decent film. I'll go take it away, Cards.
Yeah, so Fallen Kingdom, honestly, okay, I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I actually kind of like the film. I really like the fact that um they added more dinosaurs to it to, put in the wow, the cool factor in it. Because out of all the films, this is probably the one that had the most diverse set of dinosaurs. And I wish that they had spent more time on the island itself than on like the mansion. But wasn't bad. Like a lot of people were saying it was like terrible, but I'm like, it's not. It's not that bad. It's actually pretty decent. Sure, it's like a huge step down from Jurassic World, like the first one. But I mean, and realistically, I didn't like based off of like the trailers. I didn't really think it was going to be as good. The one thing I did find interesting was the Indoraptor because I was like, okay, this is going to be like the Indominus Rex again, but like smaller, but also more of a raptor than anything. And I'm like, okay, this is going to be a smart creature. It was cool for the first like few like minutes, and then I was like, okay, this is not as cool as I thought it was going to be. But like my favorite part from the Indoraptor itself was when when the dinosaur was like smart enough to kill that one old like old guy with like the gun who was like, "Oh, I'm gonna tranquilize and take one of its teeth. I'm a tooth collector," just for the Indoraptor to like fake being asleep and freaking smiling, and I'm like, "What the frick? This thing is crazy." But I loved it. I liked it, but I didn't like hate it. I will say this though: the one interesting part about that film that was like, wait, what? Was when they introduced Macy, the little girl, and the old guy who reminded me a lot of Dr. Hammond. Like I think it's what his name.
Yes, it's Dr.
Like
Hammond, John Hammond.
yeah, yeah. I'm like, is that supposed to be like who? Like, if someone can refresh me, who was that old guy? Was he also like another
It,
founder of the Jurassic Park?
uh, Lockwood. He's apparently one of Hammond's co-workers.
Yeah. So it was cool, like the idea that they're gonna place them on an island for like because the volcano is like okay, cool. They're saying that it's a natural cause that the dinosaurs are gonna go extinct again on that island because the volcano is actually erupting. But it's so dumb how they were like, yeah, we're gonna actually save them from their doom on the island and just bring them for an auction. I'm like, bro, really? But back to the little girl. It's so interesting how they brought in like the concept of cloning into like this universe. Like, whoa, you can actually like do that because if you can bring back dinosaurs, you could technically also bring back human beings. So that was, I guess, in a way pretty cool, but they didn't really do a lot with that. It was just like a little fact that I was like, okay, that's kind of cool how cloning is a thing now in this world. But at the same time, they didn't really do much with it, or at least not with the upcoming movie that we're going to talk about. But I love like my biggest like thing that I liked was when I was looking at the behind the scenes was that they brought in a horror director, and I was like, oh, okay, it's starting to make sense, especially in like the mansion like scenes. I could like tell that this was giving me some like type of horror like vibes in it. Which honestly is probably one of the best parts of like this Jurassic franchise. Because honestly, the cool thing about this is that this movie franchise, or at least in the first two movies of the original, could also technically count as like almost like a horror film in a way with dinosaurs because of all like the suspense they build up in some scenes. But yeah, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, I would rate it probably like a 7 out of 10. Would have loved to see a bit more of like the island, but we got more of the mansion. But yep.
Okay, about the director J.A. Bayona. I actually seen two of his movies, A Monster Calls and Society of the Snow. Those are actually very good movies. Yeah, those movies are so much. They're way better than Fallen Kingdom. I think what Fallen Kingdom really suffered from was the writing and the script, which J.A. Bayona had nothing to do with. Yeah, the directing really carried this film for me. I'm gonna be honest with you. So, all right, Brandon. What do you think of the Fallen Kingdom?
I agree a lot with what Carb said. Mainly the fact that this most of this took place like around the mansion and not the island Isla Nublar. Honestly, I would have preferred. I would have like. I wish it would have had more of Isla Nublar. Maybe maybe a few more scenes with it, honestly. But I do understand why. From a story-wise base, I do understand why, because with Mount Sibo erupting and basically turning the entire island basically inhospitable for that at the time. Uh, I do like how we got introduced to a new character, Maisie, who honestly is one of the best characters in the entire trilogy. Also, the fact they introduced the DPG, a very important group in the entire trilogy itself. Which again, we'll discuss more on that a little later. And I found this like it's an okay movie. Like I didn't really like it. I didn't really like it, but I didn't really hate it either. Because it's like it's pretty mid. It's pretty mid, honestly. I do like they brought back Wu. We continue storyline Wu storyline basically from his days in Jurassic Park into how he's now running basically Jurassic World's like labs and what he's doing now. Because Wu's a very big part of the entire franchise. Like the line goes on throughout everything throughout the trilogy. It affects everything in it, and for this one they did it pretty well. Like what he's doing now at this point and how his outlook is, because it's a very unique look that Wu has with dinosaurs, and we get to see now like how he's starting to like realize that he's doing this job, but like he's like it's like he knows it's unethical what he's doing at this point, but it's like he's not doesn't really have a choice in doing it because it's the only thing he does know how to do with it. I do like that they introduced back the Indoraptor as the basically main dinosaur they have to flee and escape from. And I do like that the Lockwood Mansion here is it holds a lot of significance as like this whole big factor of the events that happen that lead to the fact that that humanity has to accept that dinosaurs now live among everyone at the end of this movie. Like there's no changing this. They're already on the mainland. Like there's no getting around this. They're not stuck on Isla Nublar anymore. They're now all over the world, and now we have to deal with the whole fallout of this entire thing for the rest of the trilogy and leading into the new movie.
Um, yeah, about the Indoraptor. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not particularly fond of it. I think it's mainly because we haven't seen enough of the Indoraptor. He was introduced. The Indoraptor was introduced like very late into the movie, like an hour, like over an hour into it. It's just look like it just looks like a fan made creation. Like yeah, maybe it's just me. I think it was created solely for toys.
And I can agree with that. I can agree with that honestly. Like I do like the Indoraptor, and I do like how it's like basically the one dinosaur they have to escape from, because it's basically not a Jurassic Park movie if they're not escaping from like a dinosaur like on their own that's like non-Island, like that's chasing them and it's like a secluded area. It doesn't really get that same feel. So I do understand. I do like that bit about it, but I do also do understand how like it does feel kind of forced. Is that what you mean, Namaton?
Yeah.
Do you feel it's kind of forced?
Yes. Yes.
I mean, if you really think about it, it's not like it's the other dinosaur prototype that Dr. Henry Rue was made, but that's to be discussed later. Also, it's also like Brandon said, like it's cool to see that now how they have to deal with the dinosaurs being in roaming around Earth, or like Ian Malcolm said, "Welcome to Jurassic World." So cool that they brought back Jeff Goldblum just for like those few scenes in this movie.
I I kind
Yeah,
of wish.
honestly, this was good. That was
Yeah,
good. Like
I
not only
kind
to
of.
connect it with the whole. Oh, sorry, did I interrupt you?
Yeah, yeah. I'll start. So I kind of wish that Ian Malcolm was in the movie more. But I understand why he was. I understand his purpose, but I just wish he had. I just wish he had more time there. All right, go ahead, Brandon.
All right. Yeah. I do agree with that. Speaking, building off of that, I do. Ian Malcolm, I do wish he had more of a role. Like maybe not so much like as like the whole few scenes he had, but maybe like a overarching like cameo throughout the entire movie. But I do like the part he is in where he basically sums up not only this is like permanent thing. It also ties in the fact that this truly is a sequel to Jurassic Park. Like the characters are still here from the original movie. They're still here. They're still interacting with society, and now they as much are probably gonna have to deal with all this type of stuff along with all the other characters from the this trilogy to deal with the fact that like dinosaurs now live among them. Like not just on an island, but like all around them now.
Yep. Yep. And that was a that was a concept I was really excited about, honestly. And before we get into Dominion, we're gonna talk about the battle at Big Rock. So this was a so the battle at Big so the battle at Big Rock was a I think it was like it was a 10-minute short film. So it doesn't involve any of the main characters. It involves a family that lives around the forest. What they didn't realize was that dinosaurs are ruling around the world, and they unfortunately got attacked. Their home was attacked by the Allosaurus, and it yeah, I was on the edge of my seat, bro. That I was. I wanted these guys to succeed, man. I wanted these guys to succeed and get out of there as much as they can. Yeah, this was a damn good short film. I'll be honest with you. This is a damn good short. And you, Carbs?
Yeah, honestly, this is not gonna lie. This short was probably better than Fallen Kingdom. Not gonna lie,
Yeah,
but it's the same. But I liked it. It's cool that they made like a little mini short before like the actual like film of Dominion, and how we get to see like one aspect of like the consequences of allowing dinosaurs to roam our planet. But yeah, I liked it for what it was. It's only 8 minutes, but the CG is pretty cool. It's pretty good. It looks like if it was an actual like film, you could say. But yeah, I liked it. Not not much, not too much to say. It was suspenseful, that's for sure. But yeah, I wish that they could like continue making like mini like films like this, because like this is actually pretty cool.
yeah. I wish they made more of it. And you, Brandon?
I actually enjoyed this one because this is relate not only is this basically like you could say it's like a an epilogue to the whole Fallen Kingdom leading into Dominion. You could say that this basically showcases the effects of the end of the movie about the dinosaurs living among us. All this stuff that happened to this family, to Greg, Mariana, Mateo, Kadasha, Dennis, like all this is now going to be happening all over the world. Like this is just like the one thing, big thing that like really shakes a person because like this is not a new normal. This can happen to anyone around the world, and it's not exactly they can't exactly prepare for it because sometimes it'll just be spontaneous, and even if they do prepare for it, sometimes it's just not going to be good enough. Like this is it gives a sense of realism. The entire franchise, like this is the definitive future for the entire franchise. Like dinosaurs are now living among us. There's not really going to be much changing that because they're not stuck on an island anymore. They're all over the world, and this really brings it in. Like this is what we're going to be dealing with now.
Yep. And which leads us to Dominion. So before the movie was released in theaters, they released like a 10-minute prologue, or I think it was 10-minute or 15-minute prologue. Oh my god, that prologue was so good, dude. Oh god, that prologue got me excited for that film. That prologue was so good, man. So that prologue, so that prologue, we actually see the dinosaurs, millions of years before were even a thing, man. And we show what we show. They show us every single dinosaur you can think of: the T Rex, the Stegosaurus, the Raptors, the pterodactyls, pteranodons, and what was going to be the big bad of the big bad dinosaur, the Giganotosaurus. And unlike the Indominus Rex and the Indoraptor, the Giganotosaurus actually existed at one point. So it was pretty interesting to see that we finally got like a T Rex that was going to be much more threatening than the T Rex. And we got and so we finally got the film, and it was the worst film in all of the Jurassic Park franchise. And do you
Yeah,
know?
that prologue was completely wasted.
Yep,
Completely wasted.
and you know why? I I hate this. I hate Dominion. So the main villain the main conflict of the film isn't the Giganotosaurus. It was bugs. They were called locusts, and that was the main conflict of the film. And not only that, I don't know how, but the script is somehow even worse. I don't know how, but it is it's actually atrocious. And it's I don't and it's such a shame too, because the original trio from the first Jurassic Park film, they came back and they came back for this film, and they were wasted. They were so Alan Grant, um, dude, Ellie Sadler, Ian Malcolm, they were wasted. They were so fucking wasted. They were wasted in this film so hard, man. Oh my god, they deserved a better return to form than what Dominion offered, man. I don't I don't know what happened with Dominion. I mean, don't get me wrong, the action sequences and uh, and the CGI is amazing, but I didn't felt any like tension with this film. I felt like Chris Pratt had a lot of plot armor in this film. I don't know if that was just me, but this movie sucks. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. Over to you, Carbs.
So, while you were giving your opinion on it, I was actually looking a bit of this a little. I was actually looking at the good part of the of Jurassic World Dominion, right? The prologue.
Mm-hmm.
Like the full clip is 5 minutes of it, but you know what's insane?
What?
The fact that you said how the main antagonist of this film wasn't even the Giganotosaurus, it was the freaking what's it called? The
Locust.
locusts, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. We should have seen this coming, because the first thing you see, the first animal you see on the prologue is a freaking bug. We should have seen this coming. Man. But on an unrelated note, or oh, my bad, on a related note, this movie is the worst of the Jurassic World trilogy, and honestly the worst of the Jurassic franchise. Because man, how the frick do you fumble bringing back the original actors for the final film just for it to be bad? They don't even meet. Oh, they're not even all together until the last 20 minutes of the film, 29 minutes, and I'm like, what the? Okay. I agree what you said that Owen had a lot of plot armor in this film. You could see it. If you really think about it, this film is more like just all right, frick it. We're just trying to make a Hollywood blockbuster film with dinosaurs in it. But it's not even trying to make it seem like the dinosaurs are animals. They're just making it seem like the dinosaurs are just just there. They just they exist now. Yeah, they're there. They're not nothing special about them. They're just creatures we can control now, do our bidding. I'm like, what the frick? I thought this was about the wonders of bringing dinosaurs to life and the bad effects to it. And a bad effect about this is that if you really try to stretch out a franchise into 6 movies, you're gonna finally run out of ideas. And hence why the main conflict is trying to stop the freaking locusts from taking over the planet. Which, in like, who the frick thought that making bugs, like bringing back giant bugs was a good idea? Frick. Apparently, the freaking oh gosh, what is that actor? Wait, what is that actor who played? Okay, Lewis uh Dawson, right? That's
Yeah,
his name,
Dodson.
Dodson.
Dodson. Dodson.
Yeah, people were like making him. Okay, who is that one? They were trying to make him look like if he was freaking the Steve Jobs of the InGen or whatever the frick his company is. I don't know.
Yeah, the crazy thing is, Dodson is not even a new character in this movie. He was in the first film.
He was?
Yeah, he's in the first film. I mean, he was played by a different actor, but but it's the same character from the first film.
Wow. They like his character itself isn't even that interesting. He's just like, yeah, I'm the creator and I'm trying to, do everything whatever like as I can do it, but not illegally, right? But also illegally. But the way he dies is so satisfying because he dies like the exact same way the guy from the first Jurassic Park film did by the what's the Dilophosaurus, right?
Yeah, Dilophosaurus.
Yeah, he did. I'm like, wow, that's hilarious. He tried to get away with like all the DNA and everything just for him to die, and I'm like, that's funny. But it is so sad that they brought back freaking Grant and Ellie along with Ian Malcolm because now he has like a bigger role in this film. But they brought them back just for them to their mission in the entire film is to prevent like the locusts from being spread out, while like Owen and Claire are also trying to do whatever like to rescue Blue's baby, right? If I'm not wrong, that's what their main like thing was. And
Yeah.
it's so sad that they brought the Giganotosaurus in as like the big bad of the film just for him to actually like be the big bad in like the last few minutes of the actual film. I mean, it's cool that they also shown a bunch of other dinosaurs and like their designs, but at the same time, it's like not. You're like, oh, you're kind of. It's like I can't believe I'm saying this, but it's like okay, you're kind of used to like now seeing like these dinosaurs, and I'm like, it shouldn't feel like that, because in the first Jurassic World, you obviously know like okay, this is fake, right? This is like all CG, but at the same time, for like a split second while you're watching the film, it felt like real. You felt the stakes. In this one, you're like, oh yeah, it's a bunch of just like CG, like animals, dinosaurs, right? Like this is like I don't really feel anything, which is sad because it's like the CG for this last film it still holds up a bit on some scenes, but I feel like they rushed it with the story. I think they could have done a better job, and it sucks that it's like the last film of the trilogy. But way to end it on a low note. Not gonna lie.
Yeah. I wouldn't say they rushed the story. It's just that they got a bad writer. By the way, the same person who wrote this film, she wrote Pacific Rim 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if any of you have seen Pacific Rim 2. It's very
Yes, I have.
yeah. It's very forgettable. Is Oh my god, how do you go from
I'm pretty sure I've seen it, but like you said, it's forgettable.
Yeah, I saw that movie in theaters. Oh my god, never again. All right, go take it away, Brandon.
Okay, yeah. Obviously, this is obviously agreed between all three of us. This is like the worst film of the whole trilogy. Honestly, yeah, bad writer. First off, second off, this happened. The filming began during the whole pandemic, so it was kind of screwed from basically from the start because the whole pandemic happened, and then not only does it get pushed back like 2 years, it feels like it does too much. Like again, the main problem they're dealing with is all the locusts. It's not dinosaurs, it's locusts. Because like I was like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realize this was called Locust World Dominion instead of Jurassic World Dominion. First off, Um, they wasted Malcolm, Battler, and Grant's returns basically, and Biosyn especially. They that was complete waste. Like no, like it was just so bad. Like they had such good potential with this movie. In the OG3 back was such a good move. And then they literally just leave him for like either background, side like just to the side arc of the entire movie. And they're only together again for like what 20 minutes? It's not they wasted. It's so bad. Like they're such good characters. And seeing them like this in this movie, it's like the potential has just been wasted. It is oh my god, like oh, so bad, so bad. Biosyn coming back is pretty big, or at least it would have been, honestly, if not for the fact it's like, are you kidding me? Biosyn is just doing locusts now, not even dinosaurs. Like, why? Why? There's no point. Biosyn was like a whole like the main focus was like with dinosaurs, like the entire first trilogy, and then they do this, and it's like, oh my god. Louis Dodgson, like the whole like CEO of this. This is the one guy where I'm like, I'm glad they brought him back from the whole Jurassic Park franchise. They brought him back. He's basically the main big overarching villain between these two sequels. When you think about it, I'm glad they brought him back because like he's one of the ones I feel like at the very least, since they did give him somewhat of an ending in this one with Biosyn, I'm glad at the very least they tied up that loose end at least with this movie. Like this was just bad. This was just overall. Ugh.
You know,
Yeah.
I just realized they did bring back the cloning concept, but instead of cloning dinosaurs or humans, they cloned bugs.
Again, is this movie not called Jurassic World Dominion? I'm sorry, I didn't realize with all the locusts here, it's now Locust World Dominion. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah. They
Oh no.
Oh yeah, about the human cloning thing. They dial it back a little in Jurassic World Dominion. From from what Fallen Kingdom introduced, and I'm like, don't do that. Come on, man. This isn't. You're not the Rise of Skywalker. Don't do that, please.
Yeah. Also, oh no, these bugs are gonna take over the world and our crops. Whatever will we do about that? It's not like we have pesticide, and because of the science, we can make stronger pesticide or something. I don't know. Freaking.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
would say the only good thing about Dominion was the fact that it set up a lot of stuff for the entire spin-off series for Jurassic World. I will say that much about
yeah.
it.
That is true. I, I, I thought they were gonna stop after Dominion, but nope. We're getting more installments. We're getting more projects. So I guess they could right the wrongs of it. Uh, without a
This did help a little. This did help a little with it, especially with the whole storyline with Lewis and the character we were introduced in, Soyana Santos. I'm very glad. I'm very glad they at least fixed some of the plot point with the whole dinosaur black market operation that happened during on with this, because like it's a whole black market of dinosaur operations. You would think from the title Dominion that like this is the big thing that's happening, but no, it's Biosyn and their locust.
yep, yep. Yeah. There was so much stuff that they put in, and it just falls flat on its face entirely.
Honestly, like yeah, honestly, the whole movie had such good potential with it, but they put too much stuff into it. They focused on the completely wrong aspect, in my opinion, with the whole locust instead of the whole black market. Because if I feel like if they did the black market, and like tied in like some of the story elements from whole Biosyn like aside, like the whole Biosyn side of the entire movie, I feel like it would have done a lot better.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I think I think we're done with the movies, and we're gonna talk about the TV shows, starting with Camp Cretaceous. So I actually have not seen a single episode of Camp Cretaceous.
You
But
haven't?
I do. Nope, I have not seen a single episode. I do own it on DVD, and I will get around to that soon. But there's some pretty big names in this show. Ryan Ryan Potter's in this. For those that don't know Ryan Potter, he was in a TV show called Super Ninjas. I know, I know some of you guys don't haven't heard this, but it was a very obscure Nickelodeon show. I haven't seen a single episode of that, but I've seen commercials of that a lot of time at some point. Ray Rainy Rodriguez. She was in all. I mainly remember him as in the being in a TV show called Austin and Alley. So I have not seen a single episode of that show. I just know that Austin and Alley was like the big show for the Disney Channel at one point. And the biggest one is Jenna Ortega. She's also in this show as well before she made it big. So I will get around to this show at some point. I just need to find the time and motivation. But it seems
That
like
makes sense. That makes sense.
it seems like it is set during the first Jurassic World film. So
I'll
so
take over this bit for this one. So basically,
Yeah, wait,
this is split into
yeah,
five seasons.
Brandon,
Camp
we
Cretaceous.
got.
yeah, go
During the
ahead, Brandon.
first season is the event of the whole Jurassic World movie. It's set during the time frame of these events. Season two happens between obviously the rest of it happens between the first movie and the second movie, but it's a third season specifically. I want to bring up real quick because this is happens. The third season happens during the opening scenes of Fallen Kingdom, during the 6 months after Isla Nublar has been abandoned. This is a very important bit that we'll get to it over in a bit.
Okay. All right. So Carbs, have you seen Camp Cretaceous? If so, what do you think of it?
Okay. Yeah. If we're gonna honestly, that's a great place to stop, Brandon. Yeah. The first we're gonna first talk about the first three seasons, and then keep the last two seasons, for afterwards. That's smart. But before anything else, like you said, Nomicon, this has a staggering cast. It has Jenna Ortega. When I first saw this show when it first released, I had no idea that this had like a really good cast. Okay, Jenna Ortega. I honestly, this was on. I think my first time seeing her in anything because I had no idea she was like voice acting as well. Like the only other thing that I remember Jenna Ortega from was honestly probably yeah, that's probably it. Just the show because this was before Wednesday. So yeah, that's Jenna Ortega. Then there's Stephanie Beatrice, who, yeah, I don't know if you guys know this, but she's been in a lot of things. Brooklyn Nine-Nine. She was Mirabelle in Encanto,
I did not even know
and she
Stephanie
was
Beatrice.
also in a specific episode of Jesse that's one of my favorite episodes. She was also in the Heights. I don't know if you guys know that movie.
Yeah,
But
I know of that movie. I haven't seen it.
Heard of it?
yeah, and then we also have Sean Giambro, and I think I'm definitely messed up that name. But I know that actor. Like the first thing I know, like I've seen from that actor, was his portrayal of Jeff from the show Clarence. So that was pretty cool seeing like how that voice actor that I recognize was like, oh, that's cool. I know who that is. Then there's also Rainy Rodriguez, who a lot of people recognize from Austin and Alley, and me, like I also recognize her from there. But crazy enough, my first time seeing that actress was actually in Paul Blart Mall Cop. She was Paul Blart's daughter in that film. So that was
I've
pretty
seen
cool.
Paul. I've seen Paul. I've seen Mall Cop 1. I do not remember seeing her at all. Then again, it's been a long time since I saw that movie.
Bruh, she portrayed Paul Blart's daughter. She had a pretty good big role in that film.
Oh,
Well, like relatively,
I
but
saw. I saw that film in theaters too.
how long?
Yeah.
Okay, she was okay. In your defense, she was really young there, so she probably wasn't as recognizable. But Yeah. Then we also have freaking Ryan Potter, who plays Kenji. But if you guys didn't know, Ryan Potter also played Hiro Hamada from Big Hero
I
6.
should have mentioned that. Yeah, he voiced Hiro Hamada from Big Hero 6. I don't know why I didn't mention that.
Yeah. The only one that I unfortunately did not, recognize as much was the voice actress for Yasmina, Kausar Muhammad. Fortunately, did not know a lot about her, but yeah, honestly, the cast itself was amazing, and the plot of the series isn't bad. Like the first season, like Brandon said, takes place during the events of Jurassic World, which is like a kind of cool. Like you get a different perspective of like what happens like during the film, so you can like, whoa. So while this was happening in the film, this was happening in the series. Then season 2 roams around, and that's like, okay, now they're stranded on the island with no way of like, they're trying to get out. And then season 3 is when the events of Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom happen, and we're like, oh, okay, I see.
Just the opening scene, the opening scene, not the
Yeah,
entire
the
opening
opening
scene.
ones. Yeah, the opening ones. That's it. Not the entire season, but just the opening, which is still pretty cool. But yeah, honestly, this is honestly probably the like one of the best things like the Jurassic Park franchise has done was create like a series, an in-universe series of the events happening, during the major events of the movies happening. Like it's like you're watching this. Meanwhile, this is also happening, which is pretty cool because you also like get to feel the stakes. You also get to feel of like the characters because they're mostly just kids stranded on an island. But yeah, we'll recommend this show, man. You got to watch it. It's really good.
Yeah, I'm looking at the cast. Dude, yeah, Jamila Jamil, Glenn Powell, Haley Joel Osment, uh, Bill Nye. What the? Oh my god, this is a stacked cast, and we got some actual voice actors too, such as Greg Chun, Dave B. Mitchell, James Arnold Taylor, and Jeff Bergman. Jeff fucking Bergman? That's a fucking legendary voice actor right there. So if you guys don't know who Jeff Bergman is, he voices multiple Looney Tunes characters, including Bugs Bunny including multiple Looney Tunes characters and several of the Hanna-Barbera characters. So this dude's a legend. Yeah.
That's great. And I had no idea.
Yeah. So yeah, I gotta get onto that show at some point, and we go to the Chaos Theory.
You skipped me in what I was gonna say on this movie. You skipped me.
The Chaos Theory. The Chaos Theory is set between the Fallen Kingdom and Dominion. Uh, so uh, uh, if I haven't seen Camp Cretaceous, so I need to see Camp Cretaceous before I see Chaos Theory. So,
Yes.
Okay, so I need to. Brandon, go ahead.
All right,
Bro,
yeah. Before we go into Chaos Theory, we got to finish up Camp Cretaceous. We're not actually done yet. I said 5 seasons.
Okay,
I said 5 seasons. We've only gone through up to 3 seasons of so far with it.
Okay.
Because it's only up when we get to season 4 that we actually start getting the references to all the other movies that aren't part of the original of the Jurassic World trilogy. So
really?
we're gonna start. So this takes place on a different island, not Isla Nublar. It's not Isla Sorna either. But it's actually a new island of dinosaurs called Manticore Island. This is basically the whole this is basically the whole like where the last 2 seasons take place on Manticore Island for the most part. And this actually it's very significant because this actually reintroduces Lewis back into the whole mix. Lewis Dodson back into the whole thing, and Biosyn itself as a company, which is basically set up for not only Dominion but also what they were doing basically during Fallen Kingdom, even though they weren't even mentioned at the time. So yeah, new dinosaur, basically a whole new island of dinosaurs that another company is basically running and getting all the genetic material and everything. And the main actually no, I can't say that. That's a spoiler for you, Nomicon. I can't say that. Basically, what can I say on this? The guy who runs the island, right, is basically the overarching main bad guy of the entire show. Basically, at least for these 2 seasons, and it has a very strong connection to one of the main characters of the members of Camp Cretaceous, of the Nublar Six,
Okay.
and this also sets up a few of the storylines that happen later on in Dominion with Lewis Dodgson. Actually, it also references the fact of the whole. Do you remember the Barbasol can from the original
Yes,
Jurassic Park
yes, I
trilogy?
remember that can. That Easter egg in
They
Dominion
bring
is
this back
dumb
up. They
as
bring this
shit.
back up with Dodgson, actually. So actually, I will say this is a minor spoiler for Camp Cretaceous for season 5. Dodgson, they return to Isla Nublar, right? Dodgson and a crew of people, right?
Uh-huh.
And Dodgson finds the can.
Dude, that was such
I know.
a stupid Easter egg. That was so pointless in the movie.
No, it's not pointless when you think about it now. Well, at the time for Dominion, yeah, it's pointless, yeah. But this does explain how he found and got the can in Dominion.
The real question is, why would you keep the can though? For
It's the can.
evidence?
What do you mean?
Is
What
it
do you
for
mean?
evidence?
It's the can. Yeah. Do you not remember what the can was for?
Yes. Yes. Dennis Nedry. He was killed by the
Yeah,
Dilophosaurus.
dinosaur embryos with dinosaur embryos.
Yeah.
The crazy part is, how do those embryos survive that long in the can? Like, you do know those embryos were kept in like ice pretty much. So how the
Yeah.
frick did it survive all these years in
Yeah,
that can? That must have been like a freaking. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
So the can was buried in sand, and actually because it stayed there, not much damage was actually done to the can other than rust.
That's
Dang.
I don't understand the science behind that, but okay.
Yeah. Also, this does set up actually a lot of stuff for the premises of chaos theory, which I guess we'll get into now because that's basically the whole premise of like Camp Cretaceous. Now,
All right, let's go to chaos theory. So
Okay.
I think this is mostly the same cast from Camp Cretaceous.
yep.
It seems like there's a time. It seems like it's a time skip, some sort of sorts.
Yeah, this is basically the time skip. This takes place again, like you said, between Fallen Kingdom and Dominion, and this is obviously years after they escape Manicorp Island and Isla Nublar, and the Nublar Six return to the show. Return, yeah,
Okay.
or I guess I should say the Nublar Five now
Nublar 5. Oh
instead
yeah.
of Nublar Six. Yeah.
I mean,
You okay with you okay with us like going over this because there's gonna be a lot. We're gonna be discussing a lot of spoilers about the whole Nublar Six.
um,
Oh, wait. Okay. Wait. Before we move on, please don't spoil anything because I actually really want to watch this series. I haven't gotten to it, but I'm gonna watch it. But unless just gonna like I don't know. I can you guys can talk about it. I'm just gonna mute my volume so I don't
uh,
hear anything. But before I just wait. Okay, so you guys got to talk about it.
no, dude, I haven't seen Camp Cretaceous. What makes you think I have seen Chaos Theory?
So basically, I'm gonna have to be the only guy who's gonna be talking about it. Is what you're saying?
Yeah, because I haven't seen it. The only thing I know about Chaos Theory is the fact that they couldn't afford Jenna Ortega, so they got someone else to replace her voice.
Yeah,
Yeah, Kirsten Kelly.
Because Jenna Ortega is now too expensive.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's kind of crazy how everyone else returned except for Jenna Ortega. You would think she would be like kind enough to be like, yeah, don't worry, guys. You guys could just pay me for like my original salary. No, she's like, I'm too good for y'all. Y'all can't afford me.
I don't even know what happened. Maybe she hasn't. Maybe she doesn't have time. Uh,
Yeah,
that's
no, this
That
was
also
actually due
too.
to scheduling issues. This was due to scheduling issues. afraid of what
Oh,
you're all
okay, that
saying.
makes.
This was due to scheduling issues. It wasn't. It was not because of payment. It was literally just because scheduling issues with it. So that's why she was replaced.
Okay, if
Okay,
okay,
well, at least it's like a good reason, Not it's has, so that's great. That it had nothing to do with money.
okay.
It was just time. That's good. Okay,
Yeah,
that's,
okay,
that's
okay, okay. So if it wasn't for
All
scheduling
right.
issues, she
So
actually would have returned. That's actually good to
yeah.
know. All right.
All right. So should I just like? I'll try. I'll try to do make it mine as spoiler free as possible. But there's going to be some stuff that we're going to have to go over if we're talking about chaos theory that I'm going to have to like reach a little
So
because it
all
seems like I'm the only one who's actually seen all of chaos theory so far.
so all we know about Chaos Theory is that it takes place between Fallen Kingdom and Dominion. That's all we know about it.
Yes. Yes. So as I've said, this is a major thing. But since I've already said this, I might as well just go into it. New Blood 6 from Camp Cretaceous are now the New Blood 5. I will not say why as to why they are the New Blood 5, but they are now known as the New Blood 5. That's all I'm going to say on that. Basically, they come back together in the wake of tragedy, and they find out about the whole. They're being hunted. Basically, they're being hunted by dinosaurs and Toyona Santos from the Dominion movie. This is before the whole Dominion movie. Yeah, but yeah, she plays a very big role in Chaos Theory. She's like the overarching villain. She's the overarching villain of the entire series. This is the whole setup into like why they're being hunted. The whole setup for the whole dinosaur black market itself, actually. Because again, at this point in time, between Fallen Kingdom and Dominion, there's dinosaurs all over the world now, and they're trying to get through like how they're going to live with them and everything.
Well,
Season one goes over basically how they're dealing with the after effects of the whole tragedy that happened between them all, how they're living with dinosaurs throughout the entire world, and how they're brought back together again after learning about the entire black market, or at least the trade of the black market with dinosaurs. Season two goes into a more worldwide view, like they're actually going around the world this time to different places where they're learning more about the whole black market, who's the main villain, and all that, and a lot of secrets between them get revealed.
I see. Since the show is still ongoing, I'm going to assume that the upcoming movie Rebirth might play into Chaos Theory.
I'm not exactly sure about that. This again. This does take place between Dominion and Fallen Kingdom and Dominion. But Rebirth, you forget, takes like years, like a few years after Dominion itself. It might set up groundwork for a rebirth. I will not deny that, but it's very unlikely for the moment that given how season two ended, it will have some tie-ins into rebirth based
Okay.
on the ending of season two as of right now.
Okay. I see. I see. Well,
Again, you're gonna have to watch it just to see, but that's basically how it is right in the state of things right now. Because honestly, season two, the ending for season two probably one of the hardest hitting endings for an entire spin-off show for the whole Jurassic World. Again, you have to watch it. That's all I'm gonna say.
yeah, yeah. I need. So, if y'all don't like Dominion, watch the TV shows. Both Camp Cretaceous and Chaos Theory. I'll get them.
Infinitely better than the movies. Infinitely better than the movies, except maybe the first Jurassic World movie. Other than
Okay.
that, yeah, they're much better, more fleshed out, better character development for Camp Cretaceous and Chaos Theory, and does a lot more world building than the movies could ever do.
Okay. Now let's move to the video games with Lego Jurassic World. Um, this when this was first announced, I was actually pretty excited for it because I was on the big Lego video game phase at the time. So this was released when around the first Jurassic World movie. So I was pretty big on the first Lego Batman move, the first Lego Batman game, the second Lego Batman game, along with Lego Marvel superheroes. So I was pretty big into the Lego video games. Oh yeah, and Lego Star Wars: The Complete Saga. So I was pretty excited for it. I unfortunately didn't play much of it, but I will change that soon. I will change that soon. So I think the only section I played was the first movie of the first movie, but I don't even know what system I played it on. I think it was on the Wii U. Yeah, I first I played it. I played the Wii U version. I do have it on PS4, so I might. So I'm probably going to start over. But I love what I played. It looks beautiful. For a Lego game, it actually does look beautiful. So I'll take it over to Carves to see if he has played Lego Jurassic World, the video game.
So crazy enough, I actually played this game a little bit for a small amount of time. I never actually owned the game enough to play it completely. Or at least I think I didn't. I don't know. It seemed interesting to me, but I never actually got around to playing it. However, I did see most of like the cutscene. I did see like the movie, like the cutscenes, to see how it compares to like the original, like Jurassic World. But yeah, it seemed like a fun game. I played a little bit of it. It was pretty fun. You know, don't know what else you can get out of a Lego video game. But yeah, I would actually try to finish like play the game and like finish it. Although I don't have a Wii U or a
Uh,
3DS anymore.
uh,
So
I think it's available on like the I wait. Let me see. I think it's available on the three. I think it's available on the 360 and PS3. If you have those. Uh, uh,
nope.
okay. Perhaps PS4. Oh yeah, it's available on the Switch. Uh,
Oh yeah, I see it. Yeah,
yeah,
I might get that then.
yeah. It's available on the Switch. So Brandon, have you played Lego Jurassic World? If so, what did you think of it?
I've played a little of it, and I haven't I did enjoy it. Being a Lego fan myself, I did enjoy the game. But I do actually have a few of the Lego games myself. I own a few of them, such as the both Indiana Jones Lego games, as well as the original Star Wars full complete series Lego game as well. I enjoyed playing those. I'm glad for this one they kept true to it and did all four Jurassic Park films at the time. So I'm glad they kept that with Isla Nublar and Isla Sorna as the whole hubs, as is standard for basically most for all the Lego games that are there. Mini kits are awesome as always because it's just mini kits. They're all fun. They're all fun for just fun Easter eggs for all that stuff. But and yeah,
Okay, let's move on to a game that is not out yet. Jurassic Park Survival. Now we're getting into the Jurassic Park. Now we're getting to the Jurassic Park movies. So, Jurassic Park Survival is an upcoming first-person shooter. It's most likely going to be released for the PS5, Xbox Series X, and PC. Given how, given how high, given how it looks graphically from a visual standpoint, I don't think this one can handle it. So so there was a game actually called Jurassic Park Survival that was supposed to come out for the PS2 and the original Xbox, but that was canceled. So that was supposed to be an adventure game, not an FPS. So I'm guessing that this upcoming game took the name Survival and just made it their own game. So from a story standpoint, this looks like it is set like I think it's set days or weeks after the first film. So it seems like the dinosaurs in this film are running amok. So I am pretty excited to see if it's going to be just straight up FPS or if it's still going to be an FPS but with some horror tinge mechanics added in. All right. How about you, Carps? How do you feel about this upcoming Jurassic Park game?
So recently just watched like the announcement trailer, and honestly, this looks pretty good. Like not just graphics wise, because obviously they're gonna try to make it look as amazing as possible. But yeah, like you said, I don't think the Switch can handle this type of visuals. But honestly, it's so cool how they are they making a Jurassic Park game based off of the first movie, like the ending of the first movie. Because if they did it off like during Jurassic World, I mean, it would have been okay, but at the same time, it's like, I'm kind of sick of like Jurassic World right now. But because they made it based off of the events of the after the first original movie, then yeah, I think I might like if I ever do get a PS5, I might play it. But at the same time, I'm not really good with FPS types of games. But well, I would get this game. It looks like it'd be a lot of fun. And honestly, dinosaur like having like a first person dinosaur game sounds like it could be a pretty good concept. I
Uh,
just wish I was good at FPS types of games.
yeah, a dinosaur FPS is not a new concept. There's a game series called Turok. That's an FPS game with dinosaurs, although that's set in the prehistoric times. But this seems like it is set in the quote unquote modern setting. So yeah, that the concept is definitely there's still some untapped potential with this concept. So how about you, Brandon? How do you feel? How do you feel about this upcoming Jurassic Park game?
Well, first off, I'm happy that this is a canon game. Like it's been confirmed that this game is canon to the entire storyline, since it does take place either a day or so, or a few weeks after after the original movie of the 1993 Jurassic Park incident. I'm glad that we are getting to see like more stories behind it. Like what was like the fallout of the whole Isla Nublar of 1993? Like what was the whole fallout of it? I'm glad we're getting to see more of this. Um, first person shooter. I'm excited this is a whole first person game because it really gives the sense of realism, and also the fact because the visuals from the announcement trailer look amazing. It's like we're bringing back Isla Nublar, back from the good old days of Jurassic Park, and now we're gonna see a whole new side of it that we didn't get to see before, and I'm really excited to see what happens.
Yep. I think this was announced at the Game Awards or Summer Games Fest. It could be either one of the two. So yeah. I'm glad that the Jurassic Park brand is not dead. The I know that Jurassic Park is a big brand, but nowadays the marketing team are using the Jurassic World brand. But I'm glad the Jurassic Park brand isn't dead. So, and speaking of Jurassic Park, they just now they released a game collection where you can play the NES games, the SNES games, the Game Boy games. Yeah, all those classic games and the Genesis games, all those classic games are under in one collection. So believe you can only buy them digitally. If you want to buy them physically, you're gonna have to you're gonna have to you're gonna have to pay limited run games for that. Which is unfortunate, but then what can you do? I've played. So I've delved into this collection a little bit, and this is a pretty good collection. I'll say that. I like the presentation of this game. I played. So the only games that I played was a few minutes of the NES. The first game for the NES. Um, I, I like what I played. I like what I played so far. There's some. It's definitely an NES game, all right. But I like what I played so far. So so I have there is one game I have played in this collection before this collection was even a thing, and that was Jurassic Park 2: The Chaos Continues. And I remember that because my aunt had a SNES and she had that game included. I remember playing that game and I was so lost and I suck at that game because I had no idea what I was doing. But but some of those games, most of these games might look familiar to most of y'all if you have seen the Angry Video Game Nerd episode on the Jurassic Park games, or was it Steve? I think it was the Jurassic Park games or the Steven Spielberg games. So think, all right. So carbs. Are you aware of this collection? If so, what do you think of it?
So I actually have not heard of this Jurassic Park classic game collection. I'm just seeing it right now. Apparently, there was also like a the prehistoric edition that comes with a bunch of stuff, which sounds amazing. I actually like that's awesome. Like I would get that, but I actually have never played any of these games. I think I've heard of it once in my entire life, but that was probably years ago. Like about these like old Jurassic Park games. But yeah, it's pretty cool that like that you one can like play the games that were released back in the day. But not much to say about it since I've never like seen it or played it. But yeah, if you say it's fun, then I might have to give it a shot one day.
All right, Brandon, or have you heard of this classic games collection? If so, what do you think of it?
I've heard of it, and I am very excited to get to play all these games before because I cannot stress that they're not exactly easy to find, like all four of them separately. But since they're now all going to be in one collection, it's going to be very good to be able to play all of them, and I'm really excited to actually play them for the first time.
Yeah. I'm heavily looking forward to it. And the last thing we'll talk about is the upcoming Jurassic World movie Rebirth. So, so there are some things that we know about this movie. So the story is written by David Kep. He's a very successful writer. He wrote many classics such as the first movie, the first Mission Impossible movie, The Lost World, the first Spider-Man movie, the 2005 World the Worlds movie, and it and he's doing and he came back and wrote Rebirth, and he wrote Rebirth. And so he has so this dude knows what he's doing. So we're going to assume that he has the script is a lot better than the other three movies. And so the movie is coming out in July, and we already know the actors: Scarlett Johansson, Mahershala Ali, Jonathan Bailey, Rupert Friend, and Ed Skrein. And we do know the director. It is Gareth Edwards. If you don't know who Gareth Edwards is, he directed the 2014 Godzilla movie, Rogue One, and The Creator. So we should be in good hands with this upcoming movie. So we have seen some screenshots for Rebirth, and there's potential on this. There is potential. I'm cautiously optimistic after what Dominion offered, but we should but with the screenwriter, the director, and the cast, we should be good to go. We should be good to go. All right, Carbs, take it away.
Yeah, so I'm actually excited that they're making a new Jurassic World movie. Although I don't know how you can, you know, is this a sequel to the original trilogy? Right? Is that what that is?
It's a sequel to Dominion.
Okay, so this is like the fourth movie, you could say, right?
Yes.
It's kind of like it's like a continuation.
No, this is
Okay.
a whole sequel to the whole Jurassic World trilogy.
Okay. Well, I mean, it makes sense with like the rebirth name and like continuing because honestly, it would have been amazing if they changed like because you know how the first trilogy was Jurassic Park, second trilogy was Jurassic World. Um, this one could have been something like Jurassic something, but I don't know.
No. It's the
But
franchise is still going to be listed down as Jurassic World, but they've actually split the franchise into different the trilogy into different eras. Like the original Jurassic Park trilogy is known as the Cretaceous era, and Jurassic World trilogy is known as the Jurassic era, like in reference to the whole time of the dinosaurs. So from Cretaceous to Jurassic, and now we're in the Triassic era, technically speaking.
Oh, I see. That's cool. But it's interesting how they're bringing in specific actors like Scarlett Johansson, and they're bringing in Jonathan Bailey and Mahershala Ali. That's pretty cool. But I feel like they specifically picked those actors for a specific reason. I don't know. Maybe it's because they're bringing in people, but it was so interesting to see like Scarlett Johansson on here. I'm like, wow, I never imagined she would be part of like the Jurassic World like universe. But excited for it to come out in July. That means it's going to be summertime, so I'm going to have a lot of time to see that. But yeah, I cannot wait to see like the teaser trailer or just anything about this film, because we don't really know much about it. But I just want to see like what are they going to do with it, because hopefully they can bring back like the sense of like cool, like dinosaurs in the film, that like feeling I had with Jurassic World.
And you, Brandon?
For my thoughts on this, that I do think it has potential. And again, from what I said earlier, it's now a new trilogy. It's basically a new like era for Jurassic World. We've done the Cretaceous. We're now out of the Jurassic. We're entering the Triassic era of the entire franchise. And it kind of feels from the plot line, it kind of feels kind of forced. The whole synopsis is basically it's 5 years after Dominion, and the whole planet's ecology is now largely inhospitable and inhabitable for dinosaurs. And they basically it's like a hidden world, the hidden world aspect from How to Train Your Dragon. They have to hide in these pockets that remind them of like where they once thrived with climates, like areas. I mean, it kind of feels kind of forced in that way, because they were roaming everywhere around the world, and now they're just stuck in pockets. It's kind of like a step backwards.
Yeah, I can see where you're going with this. I
Yeah,
don't.
and like, no, you go, you go.
I mean, I can see where you're going with this. I mean, the synopsis. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but it kind of reminds me of Planet of the Apes in a way. That's probably just me.
No, I see what you mean with it. Like, I can agree with that.
But yeah, given the fact that Gareth Edwards is directing it, we should be we should be fine. We should be fine. I just want to see a teaser trailer, perhaps at the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I'm seeing Super Bowl. I mean, they did with Dominion. They probably do it with this one.
Yeah.
I
Similar.
mean, it makes sense. If
Yeah,
they do it at the Super Bowl, it's like it's within the 6 month like period, so it
that
makes
is
sense.
that is true. That is true. So, and fun fact: last year's Super Bowl, that's where Deadpool 3 and Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes was first revealed.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yep.
Although crazy enough, hopefully they don't pull a Spider-Man No Way Home type of like thing here, because you know how they did the marketing for No Way Home, which is like no teasers until like the last like what 2 or month before the actual film like came
Yes,
out.
they did the same thing for Sonic Movie
To
3
be
as
fair, that
well.
was like really hype.
Yeah.
Again, they were both really hyped movies, and they they didn't disappoint. They didn't disappoint.
Yeah. Don't do that again, please. Don't do that again. Yeah, both Spider-Man and Sonic. Don't do that again, please. Oh, with that out of the way, that is it for the Jurassic World franchise. So the future looks should look bright. Chaos Theory is looks like it's a very good show. Rebirth looks like it has potential. Video game wise, Survival looks very good so far. Um, As for the theme parks, um, apparently in Florida, River Adventure was is supposed to get uh remodeled after Jurassic World, but I don't know if those reports are true. But I do, from what I've heard, the park it's the ride itself is kind of outdated. I haven't rode it myself. Maybe you guys have rode it, Carbs and Brandon. Assuming you guys have been to Florida or Universal Studios.
Yeah, I've been there. I've
Yeah,
been on
me
the
too.
I've been on the ride. I've been in the area.
Okay, and you, Carbs.
Crazy enough, the ride itself, like you said, it is outdated because honestly, you can't really try to keep the hype up for a ride that's been there for like more than 20 years. However, I will say this though, if they were going to try to change the ride, sure they're gonna like renovate it to make it like the Jurassic World ride, but if it's still like a boat like ride, I think it's okay. Just as long as like the animatronics are updated, you know. Although I will say this, if they make it like the one in Japan, that Jurassic World ride, oh my god, I would go. The Jurassic World ride in Japan is 100 times better than any of the rides here in the U.S. of like the Jurassic franchise. It's just like it's amazing how much like work they put in, like work and effort they put into that ride compared to the ones they did here. Sure, I mean here it's more like for like the water ride, but over there in Japan it's like a whole new experience, like the modern animatronics and movements. Plus it's indoors and it's a dark ride, so that's like also the main difference between those two. But if they were to like redo like the Jurassic Park ride here in the US, they should honestly make it like the one in Japan because I feel like that would draw more attention.
I might I will I will see a video on that.
Yeah, no, you have to, bro. I'm saying, yeah, it's really good. Search up like Jurassic World ride in Japan, and oh my, you're gonna love it. It's a dark ride. It's amazing.
Yeah, I told myself that I'm not going to Universal Studios until Epic Universe opens. But yeah, yeah, that does look tempting.
Ooh, we should. Okay, no, no, we're gonna. Oh, man, we should do a video on Epic Universe. That park looks amazing.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, okay, you got. Okay, you actually gave me a new idea. That might be the next discussion video. We'll get on to that. We might be doing that next, ladies and gentlemen. So with that out of the way, we I will tell you guys where can you find both Carbs and Brandon on any social media websites. Starting with Brandon, where can people find you?
Sorry about that, guys. Again, personal life is my personal life. I don't really have that much social media for you guys out there. I'm just always glad to be on here to be able to talk, discuss my thoughts on on all these discussions we have, and yeah, I hope you enjoy too.
And you, Carbs?
You can just find me on Instagram at ERCKY05. I don't really post a lot, and if I do post, it's like every once in a while. But yeah, that's where y'all can find me.
As for me, you can find me on Instagram, Backlog, and Letterbox down in the description down below. This and if you did and this is Namikon. Thank you guys for joining me on the future of the Jurassic World franchise. I'll see you guys next time.